this will be the second year of the Soil and Nutrition Conference. It's a conference put on by NOFA, Massachusetts, and the Bionutrient Food Association. We will be spending the first 2 days going through a crash course in biological systems. So, running from soil testing and mineral balancing to biological inoculation, sort of overarching principles of biological systems, foliar spraying, conductivity monitoring, just a broad swath of detailed content. John Kempf is our featured speaker from Middlefield, Ohio, known well by many, and Derek Christianson and I will also be presenting material for the conference. The third day is going to be the annual board meeting, the first annual board meeting of the Bionutrient Food Association, and membership meeting where we elect our board and review our priorities for the upcoming year. So, an exciting weekend.
And tell us about your role in the conference, Derek, and what you think that this conference has to offer farmers.
Well, so I'm involved as one of the presenters, but I'm also involved as a board member of NOFA Massachusetts, which is one of the sponsoring organizations. And here we are today at the NOFA Winter Conference, and I think the people that engage with NOFA over the years really understand that one of the pride and joys of the NOFA community is a sharing of knowledge amongst farmers, a knowledge that's practical and rooted in experience in the fields and experience on farms. So what I'm really looking forward to at the conference is a couple of things. Number one is just, again, having a dedicated time and period to engage colleagues from a broad geographical area of the Northeast and talk about what's working, what's the best practices that are working on their operations, and where are some of the ideas that people are excited to experiment in the future. And ultimately, the most important element for me is not just the nutritional aspect that we're really going to be presenting to try to attempt to increase that nutritional quality of the food that we're growing, but is also to get at the bottom line of farmers' budgets and making sure that we're making investments strategically on our farm and in the community that will make sure that the profitability of our enterprises goes up. So, one of the things that we really see is a value for this is it's a time in the winter where we have a little bit of time to slow down, we get a chance to re-engage and think critically about our systems on the farms, and ultimately we can all probably have some leverage points that we might be able to utilize to make our farms more profitable in the future, with a long-term goal of not only endearing health for the communities that support us by buying our food, but also to make sure that our farms are going to be around in the future.
And can you each tell a little bit more about John Kempf and what some of you see as what he has to offer farmers?
I think John Kempf is a brilliant mind and has read and studied and practiced widely and has a really deep understanding of how biological systems function. And he seems to be very good at presenting those insights to people, really looking at the big picture and explaining it in a common sense fashion.
And for me, I was first introduced to John when he provided a presentation at Acres USA about 4 years ago in my hometown in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And he was a young guy. He got up on stage, and I remember sitting next to a dairyman from Wisconsin that was probably in his 50s, and he kind of took a second take and said, well, what's this guy going to tell me about farming that I don't know? And then at the end of that presentation, I asked the gentleman next to me, I said, well, what do you think? He said, well, that was the best presentation that I've heard all day. And I think most of the people that left that room felt that same feeling, and ultimately, what I think that John's capacity is he does a tremendous job of synthesizing a lot of information that's out there from sort of different research arms, different farmers, across different types of crops, across different countries, and taking that information and bringing it down into a sort of a language that we can actually tangibly understand. It doesn't mean you have to open up a textbook. It doesn't mean you have to start looking at these really detailed research articles, but you get a chance to listen to somebody who grew up on a farm and spent time in that community, and he's taking that and he's providing sort of like, it's not jargonese, it's not this language that people can't understand. It's just straightforward kind of, here's the way the system's supposed to function, and we need to just get out of the way and make sure it works.